are you? I hope all are good. Today let me start SST chapter number 4, water. Learning outcomes for water. So what is water? The water cycle, water pollution, movement of the ocean waters, ocean currents, the distribution of water, conservation of water, tides, influence of the ocean currents. More than 70% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. Okay, so तो कितना 71% जो अर्थ है हमारी वो पानी से कवर है. दैट इज वाई द अर्थ इज समटाइम्स कॉल्ड अ वाटरी प्लैनेट. मोस्ट ऑफ द वाटर अबाउट 97% इज फाउंड इन ओशियंस एंड सीज. द रिमेनिंग अबाउट 3% इज फाउंड इन रिवर्स, लेक्स, ग्लेशियर्स एक्सेट्रा. ठीक है, तो कितना 97% फाउंड इन ओशियन एंड सी. कितना 97% और 3% केवल पीने लायक पानी है. ऑल द वाटर बॉडीज ऑन द अर्थ सरफेस, namely oceans, seas, rivers together with snow and ice are collectively called the hydrosphere. तो क्या बोलते हैं हम वाटर को? Hydrosphere. The water cycle. Our body is mostly water. Large amount of heat must flow in and out of our body to bring about temperature changes. The amount of water present on the surface of the earth has remained unchanged for billions of years. So water moves in a continuous cycle. It involves the 3 different processes of evaporation, okay, condensation and precipitation. So water from the surface of the earth evaporates on heating and changes into water vapor from a liquid to gas. The water vapor is carried up in the air where it cools. On cooling, water vapor in the atmosphere condenses, changes back to its liquid state and forms clouds. So when cloud particles get too heavy to remain suspended in the air, so they fall back to the earth as precipitation. So precipitation occurs in a variety of forms: hail, rain, sleet, fog, mist and dew. Thus we can also define the water cycle as the circulation of water in different forms. Okay, so the between the major realms of the earth, i.e. rain, water bodies and atmosphere. The distribution of water. The water available on the Earth's surface is of 2 types: fresh water and salt water. 97% of the Earth's water is found in the ocean and it is salty. Only 3% of the water on Earth is fresh water. The following table gives the distribution of water in percentage. देखिए 97 कितना saline water है और ये only 3% है हमारा fresh water. Now we will talk about fresh water. Fresh water is water that has very little salt dissolved in it, unlike the water found in the oceans and sea. So many living beings need fresh water to survive. Okay, so hence it is a critical resource. So 69% of the fresh water is frozen in the form of glaciers, है ना, and ice sheets. Glacier और ice sheets कहाँ पे? अंटार्कटिका में. So 30% is in the form of underground water. Only 1% of the fresh water is found in liquid form on the surface of the earth as streams and lakes. The biggest source of fresh water is rain. The water which is found in ponds, lakes, rivers and streams is called surface water. Some water gets collected beneath the earth's surface through seepage. This is called underground water. So underground water bodies include springs, glaciers, etc. The point at which water is found beneath the earth's surface at any given place is called the water table. Aquifers situated below the water table are a rich source of fresh water. Aquifers are water-bearing layers of rock under the ground. Ocean form of the major part of the hydrosphere. All the oceans are interconnected. Ocean waters contain a large amount of it. So the ocean water is saline. The sea water may be less saline or more saline depending upon the extent of evaporation, river discharge and precipitation. Though salinity in ocean water varies from region to region and place to place. So sea water generally contains 35 out of 1000 parts salinity. Saline water is useful for marine life and has hundreds of industrial uses. It supports fish in large quantities. Water pollution यानी कि जल प्रदूषण. Human activities are causing pollution of the precious resources water on earth. So the largest sources of pollution are liquid waste, industry, agriculture and municipal waste. Even when dumped on land, flown into rivers, lakes and oceans. Some of the chemical that are flown into ocean water act as nutrients to the growth of algae. Excessive growth of algae can exhaust all the oxygen in ocean water. So this kills animals' life in ocean. Conservation of water. By conservation means the protection, preservation and efficient utilization of water as a resources. Huge amount of water used by cities and our industries return to rivers or oceans. So as wastewater which has high pollution, it must be checked at the earliest. We must conserve each and every drop to save this precious resource. Among the various water conservation techniques, watershed development and rainwater harvesting have become very popular. The watershed management, what is it? Means that the collected water should be kept clean by not allowing and polluting activities either in the catchment area or at all such places from where the water has been collected. So the rainwater harvesting is a technique of increasing the recharge of groundwater by capturing and storing rainwater by constructing structures such as dug wells, percolation pits and check dam. So rainwater is stored in groundwater reservation by adopting artificial recharge techniques to meet the household needs through storage in tanks. Movement of the ocean waters. The ocean waters are always in motion because of the action of winds and the forces of attraction of the moon and the sun. Waves. Waves are turbulences or ripples in water. These are पानी में waves होती है ना, ऊंची ऊंची लहरें, ठीक है? These are caused by the action of the wind against the wave tops. The faster the wind, the higher the waves. है ना, जो तेज चलती है वो हवा है, जो ऊंची उठती है वो लहरें होती हैं. The pressure of winds pushes the water up and down. तो जो हवा का प्रेशर है ना, वो जब उसको पुश करता है पानी को ऊपर और नीचे, particles of water may move up and down, but they do not move forward like the river water. So the highest part of the wave is called the crest. So the lowest the throw, the distance from crest to crest of from throw to throw is called the length of the wave or the wavelength. Waves vary in size and height according to the strength of the winds. Tsunami, the earth's pandemonium. Tsunami or the harbor wave struck havoc in the Indian Oceans on the 26th December 2004. So the wave was the result of the earthquakes that had its epicenter close to the western boundary for Sumatra. So the magnitude of the earthquake was 9 on the Richter scale as the Indian plate went under the Burma plate. So there was a sudden movement of the sea floor causing the earthquake. So the ocean floor was displaced by about 10-20 meters and tilted in a downwardly direction. So a huge mass of ocean water flowed to fill in the gap that was being created by the displacement. This marked the withdrawal of the water mass from the coastlines of the land masses in the South and Southeast Asia. So after thrusting of the Indian plate below the Burma plate, the water mass rushed back towards the coastline. Tsunami traveled at a speed of about 800 km per hour. Okay, so comparable to speed of commercial aircraft and completely washed away some of the island in the Indian Ocean. So the Indian point in the Andaman and Nicobar Island that mark the southernmost point of India got completely epicenter from Sumatra towards the Andaman Island in Sri Lanka. The wavelength decreased. Okay, with decreasing depth of water, so the travel speed also declined from 700 to 900 km per hour to less than 70 km per hour. Tsunami waves travel up to depth of 3 km from the coast, killing more than 10,000 people and affected more than lakh of houses in India. The most affected were the coastal areas of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Puducherry and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. While the earthquake cannot be predicted in advance, it is possible to give a 3-hour notice of a potential tsunami. Such early warning systems are in place across the Pacific Ocean, but not in the Indian Ocean. Tsunamis are rare in the Indian Ocean as the seismic activity is less as compared to the Pacific. The tsunami that ravaged the South and Southeast Asian coast in December 2004 is the most devastating tsunami in the last several hundred years. The large damage caused to life and property was primarily a result of lack of monitoring, the early warning systems and knowledge among the coast dwellers of Indian oceans. The first indication that tsunami is approaching is a rapid withdrawal of water from the coastal region followed by destructive wave. So when this happened on the coast, instead of people going to high ground, they started assembling at the coast to view the miracle. As a consequence, there was a large casualty of curious onlookers when the gigantic wave tsunami struck. Tides. The sea level rises and falls at regular intervals during the course of a day. Such regular periodic changes in sea level are called tides. So tides are produced by the gravitational pull of the moon and the sun on the earth. So the rising of sea water is called a high tide and the falling of sea water is called a low tide. So unusual low tides are called spring tides. So tides are noticeable near the shores and not in the open seas. Okay, so tides are useful to us in many ways. They help in navigation and fishing. Ships can enter or leave the harbor easily during high tide owing to greater depth of water. So Kandla port in Gujarat and Diamond Harbour in West Bengal depend upon the tides for their very existence. So tide waves are also harnessed to generate electricity. So the tides prevent the sea water from freezing by keeping the sea water in motion. Ocean currents. In part of the oceans, narrow streams of water move on the surface in definite directions or paths. These are called ocean currents. These currents are often swift and narrow with a speed varying from 2 to 10 kilometers per hour. When the current is shallow and slow moving, it is called a drift. Okay, a drift has a speed between 1 to 3 kilometers per day. So the movement of currents in ocean water is the result of the permanent prevailing wind system, the difference in temperatures of equatorial and polar regions. So the warm water of the equatorial region expands and flows towards the poles, while the cold water of the polar region flow towards the equator. There are two types of currents, warm current and cold currents. Currents which move from the tropical region towards the middle latitudes are warm currents. These currents carry warm tropical water to the cooler regions. So the cold currents flow from high latitudes or poles to low ones. So, or equatorial regions. These currents carry cold water to the warm regions. These phenomena cause a general circulation of ocean waters. Influence of the ocean currents. Influence on climate. Ocean currents modify the climate of coastal areas. The climate of coastal regions becomes warm or cool according to the warm or cold water current washing the coast. Example, the North Atlantic drift is responsible for making eastern coast of Scandinavian countries ice-free even in winter, same as the temperature of Northwest Europe is so much raised because of the warm Gulf Stream, that the coast is not frozen even in winter. On the other side, Labrador, which is in the same latitude, remains frozen for 9 months due to the cold Labrador current. Influence on rainfall. Windows blowing over warm current pick up moisture. When it condenses, it causes heavy rains. Opposite to this, the cold winds which blowing over the cold currents are unable to pick up the moisture, therefore they do not cause rains. Britain, Ireland and Eastern USA receive more rainfall due to warm currents. ठीक है, North Atlantic current in respect of Britain and Ireland and the Gulf Stream. So current in respect of USA on the other side. So the Atacama Desert in South America, the Sahara Desert in North Africa and the Kalahari Desert in South Africa have been formed because these are areas which get scanty or no rainfall due to the cold and dry winds. Influence on marine life and navigation. Ocean currents are useful in navigation. Ship moving in the direction of the current moves faster and saves fuel and time. So thick fog is formed where a warm and cold current meet. So the warm Gulf Stream and the cold Labrador current come together near Newfoundland. This results in the formation of every thick fog. In this thick fog, planktons, the basic food of fish, flourish in abundance. The fish feed on them. Ultimately, the number of fish increases. Okay, so warm currents help navigation by melting the dangerous icebergs. On account of the influence of warm currents, the harbors in cold countries remain open all the years round, and so trade can be carried on throughout the year. So, okay, so the all topics are covered here in this chapter. I hope you all are very well understand this. We will meet you the next class. Thank you.